Can you believe exactly 2 months ago today was our last gathering as a church? It's been a long couple of months, and yet we see light in the darkness. We see hope on the horizon. And so we wanted to give you this encouragement and update on this Friday. As of today, Sapulpa has entered phase 2 of Oklahoma's plan to reopen the communities. And so that means we're trending in the right direction in terms of safety and taking necessary precautions. It also means that if things continue as they are now, in 14 days we will be in phase 3. And once we reach phase 3, that's when your leadership has decided that we will begin having in-person worship again. So that means a lot can change between now and then, but that means that possibly, we could be together for worship on Sunday, May 31st. That is just, 16 short days away. And we're taking all kinds of precautions to get ready for that moment. And one of the things we're going to do is we're working hard to provide a touchless service. And that means that when you come to church that day, you won't have to touch a thing except the seat that you sit in. And there'll be other safety precautions, and we just ask you now for your grace as we figure this out together. We're not going to get it perfect, and some of you are more ready, and some of you are less ready, and some of you hoped we would do this and hope we wouldn't, but I'm just asking for your grace that we would stay united. In these last couple weeks, we're almost there. We can do it. And so what's even more important, though, is that you continue to pray. Pray for those affected by COVID-19. Pray for those on the front lines who are treating and helping us get through this. And then pray for those who are part of the solution, that are part of the long-term solution that's going to put this behind us. But you know what's cool? Even though we haven't been gathering as a church, we've been taking the church to the community. We've had videos every Wednesday, every Friday, and then church service on Sunday. And our video watch numbers on Facebook and YouTube are just through the roof. It's been amazing to see how far our reach as a church has stretched, and we're excited about that. And then you think about the 4x4 community groups. You think about the Zoom lobbies on Sunday. You think about the hundreds of calls, phone calls that you guys have been making to each other, if not thousands of phone calls. There's 7 families we've helped with groceries through gift cards. There's another 7 families that we paid their daycare tuition just down the street at a local daycare. 10 families from a local elementary school where we gave food pantry boxes to families that are in need and delivered it to them directly. We've given over $50,000 this last church year to Nazarene missions that's going right now to feed people in Peru. It's going to help the homeless in the UK. It's going all around the world to meet needs that are present because of this pandemic. And so we are taking the church to the streets. Tomorrow, we're going to give away 250 large pizzas to our Sapulpa neighbors, and we're going to offer them a prayer in the process. And then this weekend, if you haven't already, sign up for a Zoom group. These are just small groups coming together for connection, prayer, and to discuss the sermon together. And so you can look at your email for a link to sign up there. And if you're interested in a small group, an in-person group, you can check that box as well. I know you desperately miss being together, and honestly, so do I. I'm ready for this to be over. But the church has come alive as we take it to the neighborhood. In Acts chapter 8, there's this story of this Ethiopian government official, and he was actually a eunuch, and he traveled a great distance to worship Yahweh in Jerusalem. And then on his way back home, through all of these lonely desert roads, we meet a man named Philip. He was a church man, and God calls out to Philip to go to the eunuch who's on his way home. You see, the eunuch travels a long ways to Jerusalem to gather to worship. But the thing is, he wouldn't have been able to worship because he wasn't Jewish. And because he was a eunuch, there were other limitations. So even though he traveled all that way to gather with the church, that gathering wasn't the place where he was going to encounter Jesus. He didn't fit in the church gathering. He was hungry for God, but it wasn't going to happen at church. So God calls Philip to go and meet the eunuch on the desert road. And when he does, he shares the story of Jesus, and the eunuch is converted and baptized, all because Philip went to where he was. He didn't expect the gathering to be the church in the whole, but he took the church to them. So the eunuch got all of Jesus and none of the gathering. So as we enter the home stretch here, just really a couple weeks, hopefully, of this containment period, let's refrain from becoming critical all of a sudden. Critical of those who are seeking to help protect us, critical of other people's opinions, critical of other people's experience, and let's instead look for opportunities where we can take Jesus, where we can take the church and move it into the streets. We have a few more weeks where we won't be gathering, and that's 14 to 16 more days for you to get creative on how you can take the church to your friends and to your neighbors. I know you're lonely. I'm lonely. I know you're tired of being home all the time. Those are real things. I understand that. And so I just want you to know that we're all in this together. As we enter that home stretch, let's not break our unity together. So what can you do today? What can you do in the next 14 days to really take the church to the streets? Who can you invite over? Have them come over to your porch, have a cup of coffee. Maybe you go for a walk together and you stay 6 feet away. Or what family can you invite into your home for a game of dominoes or some cards or whatever it might be? What can you do to take the beauty of the church, the beauty of this gathering that you miss so much, and take it to those outside of the church? I hope you'll join me in this challenge. As we come down the home stretch, I can't wait to see you again. Let's be the beautiful church God created us to be. Love you guys.